Wa alayhi salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yes, you do, because the animal is yours. Even though he's paid for it, the animal is yours. And anybody who, man arad an yudahi, the Prophet ﷺ said, anybody who wants to make the udhiyah for yumsik, then he has to abstain from his nails and his hair. And that will begin at the beginning of Dhul Hijjah. That will begin at the beginning of Dhul Hijjah. So as soon as you find out it's Dhul Hijjah, you've already made the intention to make the sacrifice. You would then have to abstain for the period of when the slaughter has been completed. So now, say for example, he's paid for it now. Um, which country has he done it in? If he's done it, say for example, in India, Pakistan, or another country where they are not going to do the same Eid as us here, where we typically follow Saudi Arabia, then you have to wait. Then you have to wait. You can't take your nails off, and that rule is not relaxed on the day of Eid for you because the animal has not been slaughtered yet. That's one point. But the second point is on the flip side, which is this might not necessarily happen, but it is possible. It is very possible. It's the case for me actually, which is if a person uh, has paid for his udhiyah and his qurbani or his sacrifice to be done in another country, and they are going to do it on his behalf, but they do it before he has prayed Salat al-Eid on the day of Eid himself in Leicester, in the UK, then that sacrifice, as the Prophet ﷺ said, lahmushat, is just a normal sacrifice, and it will not be considered udhiyah. So let's say, for example, in Nigeria, they are going to slaughter at 9 o'clock. In the UK, there's no time difference. So 9 o'clock in Nigeria is 9 o'clock in England. But they are going to slaughter the animal at 9 o'clock. But you pray Salatul Eid at 10 o'clock because you got until the Dhuhr time to pray it. But you pray it at 10 o'clock. That slaughtering that happens before you've prayed Salatul Eid is not Udhiyah, even though you've paid a lot of money for it, 150, 300, 400 pounds, whatever it is. Therefore, there are two masalas. The first one is that if you are the owner of the animal, so you have bought the animal and you've appointed an agent, or someone has paid on your behalf, but with the niyyah of it your being your animal, it becomes your animal and you need to refrain for those 10 days. But the second mas'ala is that a person must make sure that the animal is sacrificed after Salatul Eid. And the ruling of that person's taking of his hair and his nails will only be relaxed once the sacrifice has been completed. And there's a fourth mas'ala now, which is what is the ruling on a person taking off some hair or nails if he wants a udhiyah. Because in the hadith of the Sahih Muslim, Salama, the Prophet ﷺ said, do not cut your nails and do not cut your hair. Is that a prohibition which makes it haram, or is it makruh? Now the Hanbalis have said that it is haram, and this is what you will find with many other contemporaries, where the majority of the ulama have said that it's makruh. Why is it makruh? Because there is no fidyah. If a person is in ihram and he takes off hair, or he takes off nails, or he takes off some of his skin, for example, he might have to then give a fidyah. But for a person who's giving udhiyah, there is no such rule for that person. Therefore, the majority of the ulama have said that it is makruh. That's how they've understood it. And I think, for me personally, that seems to be the stronger opinion. Therefore, if a person needs to remove some hair or remove some nails, it's better if he doesn't and if he can wait. But if he has to, then he may. I mean, for some people, their hair grows a lot, even just in a few days, or their nails grow a lot, and it becomes perhaps even dangerous for them just in a few days. Or perhaps they even forgot to cut their hair or their nails before the beginning of the Hijjah. Then I would say in that scenario there is no harm in that person to do so if there is a need. However, if there is no need, then he should abstain. And that's the opinion of all of the ulama, because there is no alim that will tell you fall into makruh and there is no harm in that. Therefore, these are some masail connected to it. Here we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us tawfiq and success and qabul. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepts it from us, just like He accepted from the one that who made a sacrifice from Qabil and Habil, and He accepted from one, وَلَمْ يَتَقَبَّلْ مِنْ الْآخَرِ, We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us of the people of taqwa, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He is pleased with us in the dunya and akhirah, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala removes from us this pandemic, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes us of the people who celebrate Eid with joy and acceptance in the dunya and most of all in the akhirah. Wassalamu alayki wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.